In cake designing, I bring in a lot of techniques from other art forms. Some days I feel like I'm a sculptor or a potter, trying to center my cakes on the wheel. Other days I feel like I'm an architect, planning out cakes and seeing what's feasible structurally. Some days I feel like a painter. We do a lot of airbrushing and color mixing and hand painting on cakes.
I do feel like I'm an artist when I'm in the kitchen. That's definitely my medium. It's funny because I'm not a super good painter, or I'm not a super good artist, and people think that I might be able to draw. I could draw some stick figures, but you give me a cake or fondant or something to work with and I can really make a work of art.
My hobby has always been cooking, baking. I used to be labeled the dinner party queen. So I just really thought about it and decided I wanted to go to culinary school.
I have been baking cakes since I was, a little kid, but I started going to culinary school when I was 13 and then really started baking when I was about 18. There's lots of ways to do cakes. There's lots of different mediums to use to be able to decorate them. There's everything from whipped cream type based cakes to buttercream to fondant. We do a variety of types of icings, and it really depends on the complexity of what you want it to look like. Some things can be done in a medium of buttercream, and some things need to be done with things like fondant or sugar work. And to be able to do that, you can use different types of ingredients to accomplish that and finish the cake.
I love working on cakes that give me a challenge. Right now I'm really into texture, different textures in different colors on every tier. We're working on a really cool cake now where the top is marbled and the middle is sequined, and lots of gum paste work and silicone mats, and just cakes with a lot of detail are probably my favorite.
When we start making a cake batter, you want to start with your butter and sugar first. You always want to cream that. It's your fat and your sugar content, so you want that to cream nicely, and when that is done, that's when you're going to alternate putting in your eggs for your next liquid, and then you alternate your dry ingredients to your wet ingredients, and that's what will help it make a really nice fluffy batter. Once the cake is baked, we can take that and let it cool down, of course. It goes through the cooling process. When that's all done, we decide what kind of fillings and frostings and decorations are involved. Sometimes decorations take a few days to accomplish, so we start a few days ahead, prep everything, and then that way we can build the cake from the inside out.
Some cakes have so many fine details that, maybe gum paste flowers or hand-rolled sugar pearls that, you need to do these things weeks in advance. Over the years, I've learned so much about cake baking and decorating and what works and what doesn't work. Always crumb coat your cake. A lot of people don't realize what an important step that is. When you're doing the first icing coat, you're going to get a ton of crumbs in it, and you don't want those to transfer into the final product. So basically crumb coat, put it in the fridge, let it set for half an hour, and then from there you can go on and finish your decor without crumbs.
Probably one of my biggest pieces of advice or things to know is to really remember your timing, especially with baking. Baking is usually a science, and a few minutes after in the oven or an extra tablespoon of something and you are done. So you need to make sure that timing is exact as well as your measurements are correct. Another great tip for baking a really delicious cake is to maybe have something that might be unique or stand out. So something that maybe people won't think that goes really nicely together, like pumpkin and pineapple is one of my favorite flavor combinations. This cake is a vanilla bean cake with lemon cream cheese filling, blueberry compote, vanilla buttercream, and fresh lemons. So if you switch it up a little bit, you can really come up with something that's unique but really fits a lot of different people's palates and flavor profiles.
There's always a few cakes that stand out in my mind. One of my favorites was Two Brides, and they had a peacock theme wedding, really intimate garden wedding, and they wanted a peacock cake but without the colors. They wanted it very subdued, so we did a beautiful 3-tier peacock cake with a gum paste peacock and just all the feathered tails wrapped around. One of my favorite cakes, super labor intensive, but definitely a showstopper.
One of the most recent cakes that we've done that we really loved was a little girl's birthday cake, and it was all swan themed. It had glitter all over it, little tiaras on top, and it was like glitter explosion, and that was probably one of my favorite cakes we've done in a while.
I think a cake's a beautiful work of art, mostly because of the emotional investment in it. Everything we work on is a complete labor of love.